This is CNN.
Hey, Myron. Myron, what can we say about working with you?
We can start by saying thank you for being a mentor, a mensch, and an all-around good guy.
Thanks, Mike, for being a trailblazing journalist in the financial world.
Thank you, Myron, for your patience in explaining all the complexities of Wall Street in plain English without all the industry gobbledygook.
And thanks, Myron, for being the voice of reason amid the chaos of the TV newsroom.
Mike, it's not only your institutional knowledge that we celebrate, it's the respect you showed to everybody from desk assistants to camera crews to your fellow reporters.
You also showed that respect for investors. That's whose interest you had at heart. You were never a cheerleader for corporate America in your reporting.
And this made Myron a very tough editor. I remember producing updates. When Myron was the anchor, I would go to him with my copy and I would be thinking, this copy is perfect. And then Myron would cross out half of it. I still have psychic scars from those moments, Myron, but every time I worked with you, I learned something.
When I met Myron at CNN, his advice to me was life-changing. He said, Wall Street isn't complicated. A 5-year-old can understand it. Go find a 5-year-old.
Myron also explained the basics of investing to those of us who work in production, things like P ratios and the Treasury yield curve. So now I just work at CNN as a hobby.
Myron is the godfather of office stuff. If you were brave enough to enter his famously cluttered office, you'd have to have a conversation standing up. There was no place for a second person to sit. And if you needed a book, he would locate it for you. It just might take a day or two.
Myron was good-natured when you teased him about his office. But when you told him that his towering stack of old newspapers was a fire hazard, you were skating on thin ice.
Myron told me that if I wanted to get an interview with Warren Buffett, that I should use humor in my approach in order to get his attention. Buffett wrote back saying that he enjoyed my letter so much that he was almost ready to propose. And speaking of proposals, Myron also told me to marry a new guy I was dating. And I did.
Myron, you were a great mentor when it comes to marriage. You always let Belle shine in her own light when she joined you at CNN events. And when she couldn't come, you always made sure to bring her home leftovers. Well, at least you said they were for Thal.
Myron, we were so lucky there was no such thing as work from home back then. We worked right on top of each other on complicated stories and crazy deadlines.
The newsroom was exciting, but let's face it, there could be sharp elbows and loud voices, but not when you were around.
You were always ahead of your time. I guess today they'd call that being inclusive. You always made us feel valued.
Myron, all of us who worked with you owe you a huge debt of gratitude.
You took interest in us and made us better journalists.
And better people, too.
You helped make CNN a place where we did serious work, but also develop lifelong friendships.
Mike, it's a tribute to you that so many of us have warm feelings for you.
It's not just that you're an important and influential journalist who made your mark in the world's financial capital.
It's the way you touched us. With your kindness, with your humor, and with your humanity.
Myron, you know, way back when you hired me to be your intern, my primary jobs were to, number 1, open your mail, number 2, rip your scripts, number 3, run your prompter. And back in those days, nobody but nobody was saying, I love you in a newsroom. But tonight, we are all here to say,
Myron, we love you.
Myron, we love you.
We love you, Myron.
Myron, we love you.
we love you, Myron! We love you, Myron, so much. Congratulations. Mwah.
First of all, how's my hair?
Terrific.
Your hair looks good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look nice today. Yo, all you people at the Follies, put down that overcooked filet mignon, put down that weird scallop potato thing and that mediocre red wine, and stop waiting around for the PR firm to drop off a nice bottle of scotch. They'll be there soon. We're doing 10 burning hot questions with Mike Handel, the living legend of business journalism. Mike, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's get after it. All right. Your first scoop, Mike, do you remember it?
Yeah, my first scoop, I was a financial reporter for the New York Times, and I think I broke a story about the first discount store opening on Fifth Avenue.
All right, who is your best boss in your storied career?
Well, oh, that's a hard one. I've had a lot of good bosses. The key is to learn, and you learn from people on the way up, and hopefully you do a little teaching on the way down.
All right, which broadcaster or business journalist did you admire when you were coming up?
Good question. I was a copy editor on the city desk for 5 years, and then I finally became a reporter in the financial department. So there were a lot of good reporters on the New York Times, oh boy, to mention one of them, one of my mentors actually was a guy who was president of the Financial Writers years before me, named Herb Koshetz.
Describe Ted Turner in 10 words or less.
I didn't meet Ted until I went down to Atlanta in my first week on the job. And so I was introduced to him, and he said to me, this is now February of 1980, and he said, when we go on the air, we don't go off the air until the world comes to an end. And he pointed a finger at me and said, if that happens, I expect you to stay on the job and cover the story.
More than 10 words, but it's Ted Turner, so we're going to give him a little leeway there. All right, who coined the term, if it's not catered, it's not news?
Yeah, I know a few reporters that felt that way. I can't remember who made that comment.
I thought you taught me that, but I don't think it was you. But I remember you telling me that somebody told you that. All right, what's your guilty pleasure when it comes to food? What are you snacking on?
I'm a chocoholic.
Chocoholic.
And I never met any chocolate I didn't like.
What was the best investment you ever made, Mike?
The best investment was this co-op apartment we're sitting in right now. 54 years ago, every penny I had in the world I put in the apartment.
All right, what was the worst investment you ever made?
Well, I made up my mind I was never going to invest in anything that I might either I or people who worked with me or for me would ever cover. So I stayed away from the blue chips and the rising new stocks, which was a big mistake.
If it wasn't business journalism, Mike, what would it have been for you? What was the other option? What did you really want to be?
When I was in high school, I became a sports writer on the high school paper. So I always thought I would be a sports writer.
You would have been great at that too, and it's not too late to you. All right, Mike, who plays Mike Handel in the biopic movie? Who do you want to play you? Who are you casting?
Well, I think my wife would have liked Paul Newman. Yeah.
You're right up there with Paul Newman, a legend.
We are being second guessed lately on our calls at the Federal Reserve. They say we're bungling interest rates and we've gotten behind of the curve. Whoa.
Out of QE, into QT. Now we're trying to rescue the damn GDP.
Yeah, it's taking a toll on us, trying our best to fake as if we have some kind of clue,
which we don't.
We lost control of the core PCE. And now the goddamn unemployment rate has increased.
We lost control of the core PCE. Yeah, it sucks to be us, baby. We screwed up policy.
So erratic,
9%, we got inflation, 9% like a bad habit. Used cars, a dozen eggs, straight up shit show.
Transient turned out not so transient. That's when I raised rates like Paul Volcker. Yeah, the Fed funds.
So erratic. Target range got it up like Volcker, baby.
But we overdid rates, we made a mistake. Looks like we're losing altitude.
Gaining bad attitudes, labor slack.
Oh, we lost control of the core PCE. And now the goddamn unemployment rate has increased.
We lost control of the core PCE. Yeah, it sucks to be us, baby. We screwed up policy.
Lost control of the core PCE.
Yeah, it sucks to be us, baby. We screwed up policy.
Good evening, I'm Tim Stenevec here with your 2024 edition of Financial Follies News. Tonight, we have a very special guest with us. Please welcome none other than the world's richest man, Elon Musk.
Tim. So good to be here with you.
You're gonna hurt yourself, be careful. Aren't you my colleague Matt Miller from Bloomberg News?
No, Tim, I am definitely Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Go Tesla!
Okay, fair enough. So give us an update because you're running multiple companies. You're about to take on this new role, cutting government spending. Tell us about Doge.
Tim, tonight I don't want to talk about Doge. I want to talk about Doge.
That's what I said, Doge, the new Department of Government Efficiency.
No, DOJE, the Department of Journalistic Efficiency. This is a new product I'm starting. Pro bono, bro.
How generous, bro. I've got to say I'm a little surprised.
Well, Tim, it's something that people have been asking for.
What people?
The people of X and the bots, of course. The bots are all about it.
There are a lot of bots there. What are the bots thinking that is going to make us more efficient?
Well, for starters, about half. Like this half of the room is going to have to go.
Where are they going?
We're going to replace them, Tim.
With AI?
No, with a giant rocket.
How is a giant rocket going to boost journalistic efficiency, Elon?
I don't know, man, but rockets are cool. Who doesn't love rockets? They go up.
And they blow up?
Too soon, Tim.
So what else do you have in store for us, Matt? I mean,
well,
Elon?
You know meme stocks, right?
I know meme stocks.
Picture this. Instead of stories and TV news shows, we're just gonna do memes.
So just reporters making memes is what you're saying?
Yes, you know, cute kittens, Kermit the Frog drinking tea, that one of the guy's girlfriend getting mad because he's checking out another woman's...
Oh, yeah, okay, I see. I'm guessing you want to cut some pay, too?
No way. Pay for journalists is going to go up, baby, and everyone's getting paid in crypto.
All right, let me guess. Dogecoin.
Yes, and I have a couple of cabinet appointments to make.
Wait, right here? This is where you're going to do this?
Right here.
Okay, but we're not sure if the president-elect has actually chosen a Treasury Secretary in between the recording of this sketch and the Follies.
I don't care. Whoever it is too business as usual. I would choose Bill Wang. He has a big brain, a spine of steel, and an axe to grind, Tim.
He may not be available.
Well, I don't care. We'll pardon him. And speaking of pardons, I want to replace Jay Clayton with Sam Bankman-Fried to run the SEC.
Not sure that he has the necessary experience. Critics might say that.
You're lost, bro. Twitter!
All right, bro, Matt Miller, Elon Musk, everyone, thank you, and a very happy holiday season to everyone at the Follies.
Hard times of worldwide depression.
Hoover Mills and Apple Carts.
The year is 1938.
Things economical aren't exactly comical. What can you laugh at and not sound like an asshot? Then again, we can't just bitch all day. Sarcasm fills the chasm of false hope, lost hope.
Joking set of choking
lawsuits. Woo!
It's idiotic.
Asymptotic.
Can't go on.
Right?
Right? It's the end of the news as we know it. But we're doing our best not to show it. Because we're scared to find out what's below it. But we feel fine. It's the end of the news as we know it. But we're doing our best not to show it. 'Cause we're scared to find out what's below it. But we feel fine.